Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Aurora ZX Gaming. Here, I've got a match for you on Ring. It is a bit of a carry in my eyes. Um, Heinrich, when she's pretty much top tier, is a very, very naughty ship. Um, I don't like to push extremely hard in the German battlecruisers due to their overall lesser of an armor profile. Um, So I usually tend to not necessarily kite, but you have to basically pick and choose your moments of pushing. If you push too early, you're going to get focused and go down. Um, and the only times I ever use DCP are when I've got more than one fire or a flood. If my rudder's jammed, as long as it doesn't expose my broadside, I'm not worried. Um, if I am Or, of course, if my engine goes out, I'm going to use that, because if you stop moving in one of these, you're in for a really hard time. But here, early on in the match, this is really good matchmaking for this boat as well. There's a lot of cruisers and not a lot of battleships. You can easily deal with battleships, no problem. Um, but I don't like to push. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically make them push in to me, which forces them to, one, move closer to my secondary range, which, as built, is 10.2 kilometers. I'm using Henry J. Hyde and Haruna and Hipper as inspirations. And 10.2 is very, very nice. Um, Here I'm having a little bit of choice debating on who I want to shoot at. Decided to take a shot at Talin over there. Um, the match does not start very well for my team. Um, I'm playing a little bit cautious, trying to figure out, okay, when is the right time to move in? When do I need to stay back? And right now, with all of those ships, there's a lot of cruisers there that are shooting high explosive. There's a Mackinson on the enemy team that is also shooting high explosive. And I'm very much in tune with the fact that I do not have a lot of damage control party charges. So here I decide, okay, well I'm behind the island now. I'm no longer spotted. Let me push in just a little bit. So I decide to push in. Stalin's turning out. Um, well, he's turning back in. Decide to take a pot shot at him and give it a few seconds. Let's see what we get. An overpin. Miss Legal here, I gotta give him a little bit of credit. He was very tricky to shoot at. Then this Miyoko starts pushing in some more, and I decide, okay, cool, he's gonna push in. Let's select him as my secondary target, and then move from there. So here, I am angling away because there is a Nagato on the enemy team who's on this flank, and his 16-inch guns will leave me bruised. So here I just decide, okay, well, I'm going to pop my secondary skill here, or secondary, enhanced secondary target, goodness gracious, and lay the hurt down on him. So here you can see the 150s and the 105s going to work. They are much more accurate than your standard German battleship secondaries. It's not, I want to say it's not an amazing difference, but I also don't have Zeiten, and Zeiten does have the double-barreled 150s compared to the single-barreled on the Heinrich. But as soon as Zeiten comes out, I have enough experience to where I'll be able to unlock it and see what she's capable of. But this Mackinson was playing rather odd. I will say HE is not the choice, even though they're only, I think they're 350s, not 305s. But if that's what he wants to shoot, that's fine by me. So as you can see, as it sits right now, we are currently down 3 to their 1. Damage is not very impressive right now, and what I am hoping for as of right now, where I'm going, is I'm trying to get to that island to my, I want to say southeast, or east by southeast. to break visual here. So I'm going to let this fire burn, but one of the biggest reasons why I like hide is the 5 heals. You do have a little bit lesser of a hit point pool than your standard German battleships, so having those 5 heals is very, very nice to have. Now, most people prefer to run the Brawler skill on hide. I've been trying to use the, God forgive me, Flammable Cannoneer, which I no longer have to push in so far because I have a lot better range compared to without Brawler. So without Brawler, my maximum range on the, say for Bismarck, for example, I believe is like 16.3. But with the Flammable Cannoneer, that goes back up to 19 plus. And usually double-barreled weapons, double-barreled turrets are not as accurate as a triple barrel. That's something that's well known from PC that did roughly translate over to console. So the double barrels are usually a little bit less accurate, but for some reason the Germans do have quite a good bit of accuracy for the double-barreled weapons. So here I take a shot at Nagato, and pretty good damage. These 380s, they are Bayern guns, so it does get a little tough being at tier 6 and not 5, because you're going to be facing tier 7, so your 380s kind of do lack a little bit of penetration when you're up against tier 7s, but at tier 6 it's more than adequate. So this Nagato here, me and him are going to duke it out here. We're going to push in, and we're going to go brawling here in our German battlecruiser. So I will be quiet and just let you all enjoy the sounds of that. And I will see you all shortly. So here, Nagato decides I'm about to ram this guy, but I saw it coming, so I had already begun my turn, and I'm going to take him out with my torpedoes. Now this is where things get very, very real very, very quick. So I've got a Mackinson and a Talin. Talin's got less armor than the Mackinson, so I focus my secondaries on him, which ended up coming in clutch. So I take some shots. Teammates also take some shots, brings them down quite a good bit. I also have my secondary skill running as well, or my secondary consumable, to get those shots in, make them count, because I see he's trying to get back into cover. So luckily that heal came up, because exposing my broadside did give that Nagato the chance to smack the absolute crap out of me. Now, that is exactly why you do not sail broadside on in a battlecruiser of the German line, because they are very squishy on the side. They do not have turtleback. The only one I believe that has turtleback is the Derflinger. Now, whether or not it is a full functioning turtleback is unknown. So my secondaries here are still going off, and I'm like, what the heck? Why are they going off? Well, I look, and there's a lookout. Now, I will admit, bit of a kill steal there. Somebody else had shot at him too, but a kill is a kill, and secured one less ship on the enemy team that would shoot at me. So here, got a Munchen, the original tier 6 tier feaster. as Munchen is a very, very, very nice Tier 6 German light cruiser. Weimar should have never been at Tier 6, but we're not going to get to that. But Munchen is a very good ship, and I recommend if you don't have it that you pick it up. She's very, very spicy. So, that is 4 kills, pretty much back to back to back, right there. When you play these German battle cruisers nice and effectively, and you're careful, as you saw when I was pushing into that Nagato, I didn't just point my bow straight at him, simply due to the fact that I only have a 27 mil bow, or I have only 27 millimeters of bow armor plating, which means that Nagato, if he aims up and not at the icebreaker, he will punch right through it. Now, I've never experienced a Citadel through the front in one of these, so they might have a hidden plate, I am not sure, but I will say that you do have to be very cautious of that, especially with 16-inch guns. So I threw myself a little bit of an angle so that any of his shells that were coming in hit me at an angle and lessen the chance of them actually penetrating due to the upper belt and the casemate armor, which is somewhere around 200 millimeters if I remember correctly. But here we're just rolling along at the Munchen. Bliskovica here. Not sure what he was trying to accomplish. I'm not sure if he just got greedy or what, but I will say he did do some work on the enemy, on the opposite flank that I was on. But here he got a little too greedy, and Munchen loves to feast on destroyers. She's got really, really quick reloading guns and pretty powerful sonar too, if I remember correctly. But I see him turning out, and this is German battlecruiser accuracy at its finest. That's a Confederate and a Kraken right at the end of the match. And as you can see, I've leveled up some in the campaign. But needless to say, my heart was pumping pretty hard there because that Nagato dang sure could have made this a less interesting battle. But being that I got 5 kills, I feel like if you get a Kraken, unless you've, I've seen somebody get a Kraken and end up less on the team than the #1 person who only got, say, 2 kills. But a lot of that damage was done by me, and I'm very, very happy with the result. So I'm going to call it a carry, especially seeing as when I pushed in, we were not doing very well. But this was the first match in the ship here today for me. So I hope you all enjoy. I will catch you all in the next video, and y'all stay safe. Aurora ZX out.